Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall continue the postgraduate survival guide with a forum in which I personally think has a very interesting topic. So
This meeting is being recorded.
Today for this will be Professor Dr. Dayang. Allow me to share my screen. Okay. Professor Dr. Dayang Anita Abdul Aziz is currently a professor of pediatric surgery in PPUKM. She has many accolades attached to her name, but I shall highlight a few of them here. Professor Dr. Dayang is the first woman professor in pediatric surgery in Malaysia and is the first woman to lead pediatric surgery services in an academic institution in Malaysia. And she's also currently the senior consultant pediatric surgeon in UKMMC, and is also the head of health advocacy for women and children research group in our faculty. And previously, she has also been a chair of pediatric surgery conjoint board, founder and coordinator of pediatric surgery specialty training program, and a lot of other achievements that can be seen here in her biography. So without further ado, I shall pass this session to Professor Dayang.
Thank you, Dr. Haizurin, for the very kind introduction. I'm still chair of the Pediatric Surgery Conjoint Committee, and I'm very honored to be here this morning with a group of panelists to share their clinical experience and share ideas and take on questions from the participants. And to all the participants who have joined us, welcome to the session of live of a postgraduate student forum for sharing ideas and experiences. Before I introduce the panelists, for everyone's information, this is an interactive session, okay? So if you have to pose any question, please do so in the chat session, okay? And feel free to use the reaction button if you want to give a thumbs up or applaud some of the points, okay? Without further ado, I'd like to introduce our panelists this morning. Firstly is Professor Dr. Zarina Abdul Latif. Prof, say something please.
Assalamualaikum. Salam sejahtera semua. Thank you, Prof. Dayang.
Waalaikumsalam. Prof. Zarina Abdul Latif is a senior consultant pediatrician and clinical geneticist in our university. She's presently the Deputy Dean of Postgraduate. Please acknowledge that, yeah, all postgraduate trainees. She's also head of the Thalassemia Center in Faculty of Medicine and UKMMC. She's a member of the Specialty Education Subcommittee in Clinical Genetics, and that's a niche, and appointed as the Executive Committee member for the Global Globin Network, which is actually affiliated to the Human Variome Project and UNESCO. Professor Dr. Zarina developed the pioneer program of Masters in Science in Genetic Counselling in UKM. Actually, my program was developed first, but Prof. Zarina has the earlier cohort of students because it's a very interesting program. So bravo, Prof. Zarina. She's also active in various societies and currently EXCO of the Genetic Society of Malaysia and chairperson. Right, so that's a fantastic introduction to Prof. Zarina. Can we have a screen for Prof. Faizah Muhammad Zaki from Radiology Department? Mana Prof? Assalamualaikum, Prof. Faizah. Don't be that background is fake, okay, everybody?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, Prof. Aiza, need no introduction, but I have to do this. She's a senior lecturer and senior consultant radiologist since 2009, and she's also coordinator for research and publication of the postgraduate students in Department of Radiology. She likes teaching, enjoys giving lectures to medical students, medical officers, radiologist trainees. Surgeon tak ada. As well as members of radiology fraternity and medical fraternity in general. So welcome, Prof. Faizah. Thank you for taking time to be with us this afternoon. this
Thank you for
morning.
inviting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Next, we have Dr. Wan Haslina Wan Abdul Halim. Assalamualaikum, Dr. Wan. Okay, Dr. Wan Haslina Waalaikumsalam. From the Department of Ophthalmology. I can vouch for this. Yeah, she is a dedicated and competent cornea and anterior segment surgeon offering experience in the skill in cataract, corneal transplant, and tissue stem cell regeneration surgery. She is actively conducting research in clinical trials, corneal transplant, corneal and limbal stem cell regeneration, and she has an excellent track record of research success with more than 40 published articles. She's currently the national head of FACO Emulsification Workshop Committee for Ophthalmology Trainee under the Malaysian University's Conjoint Committee in Ophthalmology since 2018. Phew, dahsyat. Yeah? Okay, that's fantastic. Those are the 3 senior lecturers for you all. Start creating questions for them, okay? And we also have a group of excellent postgraduate students to share their experience. First on the list is Dr. Nur Faizan Ismail. Mana tadi Dr. Nur Faizan? Dr. Nur Faizan? Are you with us?
Yes, Prof.
You look very
Welcome.
nice. Are you in the ward?
Yes.
Oh, very dedicated. Dr. Nur Faizan is a final year postgraduate medical officer from the Department of Pediatrics. Currently, she's collecting data for her research dissertation. Yeah. And can we have Dr. Juliana Fairuz Makhtar?
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam, Dr. Juliana. Yeah, you're put here junior radiologist.
Yes.
You're a
Just joined.
radiologist, don't worry.
Yes.
A lecturer with Department of Radiology, and you were our master's trainee, yeah?
Yes.
And
Correct.
graduated last year. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Prof.
For joining us. It's always great to be with alumni. And last but not least, let's have Dr. Applause for Dr. Muhammad Syamil Muhammad Salmi. Dr. Muhammad Syamil.
Yes, saya. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Dr. Muhammad Syamil is very interesting. He is in the 4th year, final semester, Master of Ophthalmology UKM. And he's a trainee lecturer in ophthalmology department, but at Faculty of Medicine and Health Science, University Putra, Malaysia. So we are delighted to have our colleague from a neighboring university to be with us this morning. Yeah, just a few more seconds to noon. So all right. So everyone, welcome. I see we have 65 participants at the moment. And this should be an interactive session. Any welcome introduction from Prof. Zarina?
Oh, okay. I didn't prepare anything, but like Prof. Daya mentioned, this is a session for you all, right? So I think many of us didn't prepare anything in the sense of slides. I think we are here to assist and facilitate whatever queries that you have. So feel free to ask. Inshallah, if we can help, we will do so.
Any opening remark from Prof. Aiza?
First of all, thank you very much for the committee for inviting me and also my junior colleagues, Juliana. So basically, we are here as what Prof. Zarina said. We here to share our experience, inshallah, and also to support you guys. So
Excellent.
put in all the questions for us to help out, inshallah.
Thank you, Prof. Aiza. Dr. Wan Haslina?
Thank you, Prof. Dayang. I hope that this session can be a session where we share practical tips for all of you. I understand sometimes theory seems quite far-reached, but when we sit down and talk about what are the things that had worked for us before, maybe we can also share what we had done before, and inviting the juniors like Dr. Shamir from my department of ophthalmology would also point of view also. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Faizan, let's have a little bit of introduction or welcome from you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Thank you for the community to invite me. And then also thank you for Prof. Zarina to invite me actually to give maybe a bit experience in pediatric. Later I will share about how to cook in this department actually. Okay.
Ada berapa pediatric trainee dalam webinar ni sekarang? Tak ada siapa angkat tangan. Well, you know, you've got the lecturers, a senior lecturer and a colleague. So I hope everybody from the medical background will take the opportunity to ask questions. Yeah, Dr. Juliana.
First of all, thank you for inviting me as well to this webinar. Actually, yesterday I did a very quick response to my fellow postgraduate that is actually participating the webinar today. So I'm going to share what are their response. So I hope in a way I could help them in easing the pathway of the postgraduate. InsyaAllah.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, and Dr. Shamil.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. Thank you for inviting me as well. I was initially approached by Dr. Wan asking me to share my little and humble experience in research and clinical work. So I hope you can talk about it later.
All right. Okay, I have some questions here. Awak depa tak tulis dalam chat. Okay, of course you all can WhatsApp me if you since you all are more comfortable WhatsApping. Okay, I for this group I will give you my phone number. Please don't leak to everybody lah ya. Since everybody is more keen to WhatsApp, okay, we'll do that. My phone number is 012 305 9439. Yeah. Malu ke nak tulis kat dalam chat ni?
Nanti ada pit surgery referral lepas ni.
Lepas tu I rasa lah. I put in the chat. Tak apalah sebab ada orang macam gitu kan. Nah, you know, this is a very important session. So I'm going to read some of the question. Boleh ke? Boleh ke panelists? Dah bersedia ke?
Boleh, insyaAllah.
Okay, excellent.
Allah, insyaAllah.
Okay. Saya nak pilih yang satu soalan kepada Prof. Zarina. Ya, Prof. Zarina?
I rasa macam Viva. Okay. I'm ready. Viva, okay.
Prof. Zarina, ni macam main-main je ni. Prof. Zarina, you look so young. How long ago was your master student? Is it the same as the experience as now? You're a deputy dean. How have things changed?
Oh, okay, thank you. So in terms of the age, that's rahsia. But I'm not so young, but I'm very blessed I'm a graduate of this MEd program. Okay, if I tell you when, you can do the back calculation, not back translation. So I graduated in 1998. Yeah. So I'm proud to be a master's. My primary degree is UM, but my heart is UKM. Because I graduated from UKM for the masters. So that's how many years ago? Lama dah over 20 years. You see? So the program has evolved a lot. Certainly Faizan is much more different. It's a lot more robust now. Okay, a lot more structured. Right, because the assessment are a lot better, so it's more organized and more structured now. And during my time, there was no conjoined board. That's how long ago it was. Okay, so when there was no conjoined board, we didn't come together to discuss the questions, but we invited people from the various institutions or MOH to still come on board, but they were not members of this board that we now have lah, so you see, we cannot work in silos, right? So walaupun kita bukan formalized board at that time, we still took into account everybody's opinion. Okay, and I think inclusivity is an important point when you are working. I think that's the main thing I want to say lah, sebab dulu kita punya exam format lain. Okay, so dulu kita it's a bit more straightforward if you want to say. But we still did have the research component. Research component tak berubah daripada zaman dulu. Memang ada research component juga. So maybe that's all I want to say kot. I'm sure the others want to chip in and say something.
Okay, okay, that's a plus point. Apa ni? It's good to know that there's a remarkable change in the way we organize the exam 25 years ago, and we are progressing well. Maybe it's good for me if I can ask Faizan, while we are at the topic of pediatrics,
Yes, Prof.
what would be your apa ni advice to those who are in the program, especially how to cope with the research, Faizan?
Okay. Actually, because I think the UKM the best the good thing is because they asked to do the proposal earlier. At the second year, we already proposed our proposal for research, and then actually we can plan earlier lah for our study. And then actually I think at the third year and fourth year, we already can focus to our research on that time, because honestly at the second end of early of second year we can finish all the theory and also clinical, almost all the exam except for the research lah. And then at third and fourth year we can focus only for our research, and that is not heavy thing lah actually to do. Only we take a sample, and then the heavy thing is during the statistic analysis lah, I think.
I see. So were you guided in your experience in pediatrics? Were you guided during your dissertation? Was it well guided, or did you have
Yes.
to do a lot on your own?
Yes, I think I got well guided, because actually my supervisor is Prof Zarina.
Tak
She
aci
keep on
lah.
asking
Sakit
me,
juga.
and then
Mana tak aci Prof
No,
Zarina ni.
honestly.
Actually, Faizan, be honest and say whatever you want to say. I know you probably
It's yeah, because I think it's better we complete all the exam, the theory and clinical earlier, then we can focus our research at the last second year lah.
Good. Where were you based, Dr. Faizan? Where were you before?
Before this I'm in Likas.
Oh.
Before I come to HKL, because before I joined the master, I in Likas, and then after that I'm HKL, and then now I'm HUKM.
All right. So you travel quite a bit to have this done, yeah?
If
So
I may
congratulations.
mencelah sedikit.
Ya, sila Prof Zarina.
Dr. Faizan, she when did you deliver?
I deliver on
November last year.
Yes.
So that's right. So she's one, and you have how many? Is that number 2? Number.
Yes, this is
it's
my
okay. Second. So
Yes.
I had a call. I had a trainee. Yeah. Something like what Dr. Faizan is going through. Yeah. And even now we had a senior consultant. Maybe some of you don't know Dr. Mazia. Dr. Mazia Alias, she's an alumni of MMed PETS. She delivered 3 children during her time of her masters. 3. Yeah, so Dr. Faizan, maybe I'm not sure 1 or 2, but even then, she anchors. Your baby is with you lah, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but her other child is in Sabah. That's right. So I just want to point out here, ni bukanlah tit for tat, puji-puji Faizan, dipuji I puji you, macam tu kan. I just want to say to this, determination and resilience is very key how you succeed in your postgraduate days. So insyaAllah, if you are determined and you have good support, insyaAllah boleh buat. Yeah. So Faizan, a good shot. Okay. Itu saja nak mencelah tu saja.
Yeah, I think that's I can see now why Prof Zarina. There's always a reason why we put up our trainee kan, to share their experience, and I congratulate Dr. Faizan. You have gone through quite a bit, and I'm sure it's no easy task to raise a baby and to be in your late clinical years. Also, congratulations to you for having done this superbly. Yeah. If I may continue to the next question, boleh ke? This is a question from Prof Faiza. Assalamualaikum Pak Faiza, ada lagi?
Waalaikumsalam. Yes, I'm still
Tiba
around.
je tak ada internet pula ya. Okay, Prof Faiza, you are most ni sikit I tak baca penuh lah ya. One of the most approachable lecturers in radiology. And we hardly see you get angry. Okay.
Okay. Sometimes.
Sometimes, ya ada juga. How do you cope with interdisciplinary conflicts? Like having to put up with difficult colleagues like surgeons tu satu.
Alright. Thank you very much for the question, Prof. I'm not sure where the question comes from. Anyway, but just want to actually it's important to have the positive vibes. Because whenever you have that positivity inside yourself, and you will be able to spread it to your environment. And for me, because I feel we have to work in team. Because if you are self-centered in the sense that you say, everybody has to follow my say, the problem is nothing will, we can't achieve anything. And I always tell my juniors and even my postgrad student, whenever they have some problem with the other party, meaning the primary team, always the primary team say, I'm ordering this, we have to do this, so I told them, actually we have to take that as we are like rainbows, we are like rainbows. So because the thing is, whenever we are having if let's say one world have only like people like me, it will not be a rainbow, it will be a monochrome. Okay, just one color. So we have to embrace the spirit of having different people has different style, have different way of doing, but we have to acknowledge them at the same time, and at this managing the diversity. And I believe this has been advocated in our even our our undergraduates pun. So and it's even more important to be implied in postgraduate, because you guys are going to be specialists one day, and you'll be managing people with difficulties. But just tell yourself that we are in team, and we want to be we want to have rainbows in our hospital. So, and that means that if we have some difficulty, then communication is the key. So
Excellent
yeah,
advice, Prof.
that's what I feel. Yeah.
Faiza. I feel very nice. We always learn something, not just from the people older than us. We learn something from the young ones. And thank you so much for that sharing. Dr. Juliana, how has the training in radiology the last 4 years, you menyesal ke, ada you rasa apa yang the most striking force you feel as a trainee in radiology, the most striking force that helped you to get through your days? Would you share us some of your tips?
Okay. So basically it's the challenging part in the postgraduate. I just wanted to share as well. I had my part 1 exam in first year. I had a miscarriage at second year. And then I had my part 2 exam in third year. And then I delivered another baby in fourth year. That will be my third son. So the ride of challenging in postgraduate is like terumbang-ambing, like a wave kind of thing, like hitting me hard, hitting me softly kind of thing. But I went through it, I guess, because I think the postgraduate experience is actually the thing that you risk your life into. You are creating a way for you to progress. And in these 4 years, we are taking risks. We are trying our hardest to achieve what the reward is in 4 years' time. So I think I surround myself with positive people, positive vibes. I got good teachers, good friends, and good family support. And I think with the correct time management, that basically put me through these 4 years of postgraduate.
Alhamdulillah.
And may I also share, Prof.
Sure.
Dayang?
Sure,
Okay.
Sila.
So the thing that I mentioned just now, I kind of like asked the response from my junior MOs. So initially I asked the second year who is actually attending today. So I kind of like can read. I asked them to personally just describe with one word regarding postgraduate life or experience.
Mm.
So this is what they wrote. They put in difficult, sacrifices, tough, challenging, angry, stressful, tired, sad. Everything is very negative, very stressful.
Hmm.
Nothing here saying something very positive. I'm sure they are all in the participants, they will be laughing around. But bear in mind, you are seeing the reward in 4 years time. Inshallah, you guys will graduate. And what I did, I asked my colleague, which is already graduated. I asked them, so now can you describe me with one word? What is it like for postgraduate life after graduation? What they wrote is totally the opposite. They wrote accomplishment, perseverance, worth taking risks, very challenging, but I enjoyed my master life anyways. It's not even one word, but basically it's all positive. So I just wanted to mention to all the juniors now taking starting their postgraduate journey. This is all life risking journey that just embrace the adventure. I think if we have the perseverance, you will make it through in 4 years, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you so
Can
much for that sharing.
can
So
I just
powerful.
say
Yes, Prof.
something?
Zarina.
I that was very well said, Dr. Juliana and your colleagues. Just want to add the harder the journey, the tougher the journey, the more rewarding it will be at the end of the day. And what is important in life doesn't always come easy, right? And in fact, the challenges are there for a reason, right? So betul lah apa yang Dr. Juliana mentioned just now. Yeah.
Apa ni, Prof. Zarina, while we are at it, because yeah, I'm trying to not repeat the same question. There are a few here that said the same. Stressful. How can't have time. Need somebody to talk to. So I'm gonna probably take the opportunity to ask you, Prof. Zarina, before I go to the other panelists, since we have the opportunity to address it now. Could you let us know what the postgraduate secretariat has to offer now currently with apa ni, trainees who has problem coping or would like some assistance to lessen their stress?
Thank you, Prof. Dayang. So we now have unit graduates assist. Okay, that's established since October last year. Okay, and why we did this is to answer the call of there have been needs lah. Yeah, it was primarily started to cater for clinical master student. Yeah, sebab we understand with all the description given by Dr. Juliana. Yeah, you are all working, yet you are studying, and then you have a family, right? Expectations are high, stress level high all the time. So we are here to assist you in whatever way we can. Yeah. So kalau tengok website postgraduate SPSF per, you just type that in, Google it, it will come out SPSF per. Then you will see graduates assist. Dalam graduates assist tu, you can have a look. There is a flow chart there. You can choose to make an appointment to see a counselor, to see a trainee counselor, and there is an appointment. So kita akan screen through and we will decide who is the best person to address your concern. Sometimes you can make the request yourself, and in fact the few students that have called in, they asked to see a peer, right? So we have what we call a peer support system. I'm not sure whether Dr. Iziana is here. So they were volunteers. Some volunteer, true volunteers, some volunteer inverted. Nama diberi oleh penyelaras stroke HOD. But you were, those who are maybe here, you were selected for certain reasons, walaupun you de-volunteerkan. Yeah? And this peer support system, which is called PRS, Pembimbing Rakan Siswa, they are ready to help you, right? You may not want to talk to old folks like us, like myself, Prof. Dayang. I tak masuk Prof. Izzah lah, dia muda lagi. So you may not and Haslina, Prof. Haslina. So you may not want to speak to us, but you may want to speak to a peer. And these peers, they have undergone some sort of workshop and all that, right? So you can choose to speak to them also. So
Yes, excellent.
please visit the website. We are here to assist you, right? So it could be academic coping issues or beyond that, alright? Kalau kita dapat membantu, we will be there to listen to you. Okay, that's all.
Thank you, Prof. Zarina. There's a question for Dr. Shamil. Dr. Shamil?
Yeah.
Dr. Shamil, why did you choose UKM? And how has the experience been as a trainee in UKM? What are your
Okay.
tips to excel in your field?
Okay. Thank you, Prof. Dayang, as the moderator and our distinguished panelists. Okay, the question was, why do I choose UKM? Firstly, I was because my specialists here in UPM are mostly from UKM, so they would like to have the similar experience shared by them. So I was open initially, so I went in UKM. I meet all the lecturers and colleagues, and up until now, I think it was pretty much. How do I say, a tough experience, but at the end it was a worthwhile experience. So I think how to cope with the tough duties in terms of clinical works and research is a balance. So I believe the keyword to achieve the best from both of this clinical and research as a trainee is a balance. Because everything we do require balance, otherwise we will be at the extreme ends of it. Hence, the allocation of adequate and proper time is a must so that we can excel in both fields. I also believe that all of us have families, have kids. Me, myself, I have 4 kids. My wife is also working full time. We don't have maid at homes. So I believe there are some colleagues, students share the same experience with me. The others may be single but have their own families. So the keyword again is to have a balance and proportionate time to spend from each works. So another thing is, I think research for students may consume roughly about 30 to 40% of their requirement to pass the master programs. But for different people, I think they have their own style of doing multitasking. And only they would know how they will make the best out of it. So some people are born genius. They may only need to allocate little time of their 24 hours to read books and journals, and then they can able to perform well in their duties, both clinical and research. Other people may perform best at night time, where they can spend a lot of time reading and analyzing articles. But this, however, may not be true for some other types of people who are, maybe they are early risers. They need to wake up early, read, and they can digest pretty much of everything at that particular time. So in order for me, I think in order to have a balanced multitasking environment, we have to know our inner selves. We have to know our strengths, our weakness, our potentials, and our motivating factors, our demotivating factors. And I think no one else can tell us what is the optimal way to balance out everything. Only us, or only we can tell ourselves what's the best way to balance.
Very, very good. Very motivated. Hear you talk. I'm well motivated. Macam nak ambil lagi sekali postgraduate. Very good. Very good attitude. Dr. Wan Hastina, what are your tips to ease? I hear in ophthalmology about 30-40% of their time is to be dedicated to research. What's your tips on easing, lessening the stress of candidates trying to cope with clinical and research Any tips from you?
Okay, thank you, Brother Young. One of the things that I always feel when I was a student last time is as much as possible, I would like to avoid my supervisor, right? So because I don't want them to ask me what's happened to that paper, what is happening to your research, how many patients have you recruited. So as much as possible, I want to avoid seeing them or engage with them. So, but when I become a lecturer myself and towards the end of my research, I think that it is a bad thing to do. That is a bad thing to do because you always have to engage with your supervisor. Tell them what you are doing, and if there's any difficulty, be transparent with them. Okay, some supervisor has. I know that not all supervisor are very approachable, like, Prof. Faiza or Prof. Dayang or Prof. Zarina, but certain people have certain ways. So one of the seni when you do a master's in medicine is for you to learn how do I say behavior of the people so that you can
And
get them
management.
at their
Yeah,
best.
that's right. That's right.
Yes, people management. So maksudnya kalau you ada a very difficult supervisor, I am sure there are vulnerable time or the best time when you can approach them. So don't take that as a hurdle or a challenge. Take that as something that you should learn to go around it and then try to achieve your target. Okay, so number one, I would say, do proper engagement with your supervisor. Make sure you talk to them what's your problem. So one of the things that I do, at the moment I have 11 master students under me. Okay, so what I would do is every 2 months I would have a mini meeting with them saying that, okay, let's do whatever thing that you want to say or whatever talk about. If there's any problem with your research, if you face any PK yang marah-marah sebab kena trace file ke apa kan. So I think as a supervisor, we should try to facilitate them, to facilitate them. And I think our department has been very good at trying to facilitate our students by having research assistants around. So we have a research officer and we also have research assistants around. Some of the lecturer has dedicated research assistant to themselves. So like for me, I have sometimes 1 or 2 students, 2 research assistant at one time to help me, how would I say, help my students as well. Okay, that's number 2. So number 3, I would say, as Shamil was saying, try to know yourself. Okay, so you have to know yourself. What type of person are you in terms of learning? So if you're a morning riser, so study at that time where you can actually absorb better with no disturbances. If you are late, how to say, Batman kan, ataupun Batwoman, so maybe you can engage that time for you to study and do some of the reflection what you are actually learning on the daytime. One thing I want to pesan, which is I think is for myself as well. When I was doing my PhD, I had the same problem. So the challenges are there, the challenges are real, but try to make the end goal as your dream. Okay. Contohnya kan, one of the thing that whenever it put me down, when I was doing my master, doing my PhD, I would say to myself, I want to be that person who wears that robe, wearing that hat in, for example, in a year's time. Okay, so that will actually brings you up again. I mean, some self-motivation is also necessary because not everybody will understand what you're going through, but you have to know yourself. Okay, if you know that you need help, okay, you have to open up yourself to get help. Okay, it happened to me when I did my PhD. Okay, during my masters, even though I have kids during my masters, my son is a special child needing a very focused, how would I say, attention. And I was not having I didn't have a problem because I think I can get along, and I was too busy to feel depressed or whatsoever. But when I was doing my PhD, there was a time when I was like having symptoms, and then I realized, and I wake up to myself saying that, oh, I'm having depression. Okay, so try and get help. Prof. Zarina has mentioned a lot of things that SPI and SPS has offered to all of you. So reach out, seek for help. And for the lecturers as well, for those lecturers who are here, I think we have to, how do I say, recognize early signs when we think our student is having problem. Yeah? Contohnya, before that they were performing very well, but somehow they regress, or there was suddenly a big problem with the staff that usually they don't have problem before. So I think, being a lecturer also, we have to recognize that as well. So I think that's all. I talked too much.
Thank you.
Okay, I think that's
Thank
all.
you so
Thank
much.
you.
I think that's very real, and the problems are real. And thank you for sharing your
Yes.
experience. I think it's very important. Almost all of us, even myself, we go through a roller coaster period, and how we bounce back is very important. I'm getting some other questions here. There's a question for Dr. Farizan. No, Faizan, are you
Yes.
with us?
Yes.
Tanya, what time do you wake up in the morning? How do you spend time? Do you get to spend time with your children? Well, how do you cope with meeting? How do you cope with maintaining your relationship with your child who is far from you?
Yeah, actually, I think I have a biological clock. Can I say like that? Since my student time before this, because every day I wake up around 4:30 a.m. and then I will go sleep around 12. But I think I need to create a what we call healthy and good environment, especially working and during my go back home lah. Actually, when first we wake up in the morning, we need to put in our heart that we want to go to work. We need to learn something, and then we need to do a good thing to our patient. That's our aim every day. That's why when we have the aim, then we have the happy and good life lah in the working time. And then actually about the coping with my because I have two kids. And then actually I want to share a bit because both of my kids is a cesarean. I done a cesarean, and then I have only maternity leave only 1 month for the second kids, and then after that I going to work. Everybody they ask me, how can I do that? Actually, when we want to do, we can do. The good thing is, if we want, we can do. No worries. We can cope with that. And then, but I have a good family support, actually. And I have a good friends, and then all the working environment is very good. That help each other to cope in our my daily activity, daily day lah. And then actually I not a bit because during the MCO time I not see the first child and also husband for 7 months because of the MCO. I cannot go back to Sabah, but we still I think we still can communicate with WhatsApp and everything lah. So it's not very bad thing to become a master student in different with long distance relationship actually.
I think you're very positive, and then with the advent of technology now, we can do virtual video call, kan? Yeah. And I think do you also do Zoom with your family, or how do you keep in touch?
During actually during Raya, because we cannot go back for Raya because MCO. We do the Zoom lah on that time.
Alhamdulillah. Tough. Before I forget, today is Hari Wanita Kebangsaan. To all the female, you have very strong female. Today I'm very blessed to be among all of you. Selamat Hari Wanita. Pagi tadi National Council Women Organisation ada buat satu webinar yang dirasmikan atau di-grace oleh Yang Maha Mulia Raja Permaisuri Agong. If you want to see, these are powerful ladies. They they are sharing their exact situation lah. Bukan kita kata the men tak ada problem tapi today is a special day for the woman. Selamat Hari Wanita ke semuanya. Saya sangat gembira kita punya perkongsian hari ini very real situation. I have a question here for Dr. Juliana. Dr. Juliana?
Yes, Prof.
The question is, please give some special tips and advice for the upcoming exam. Janganlah bagi soalan bocor pula ya.
Upcoming exams, alright. I am due for classes with them, which I haven't given the date yet. Okay, remind me for that. Tips, I guess for all postgrad, basically confidence. Number one, I think, number one is preparation. Okay, you need to prepare yourself. Meaning preparation, you need to surround yourself with the right colleague that really has the similar study pattern with you, and get somebody to basically not to just agree with you but also disagrees with you, so that you can create this mutual positive persaingan. I'm so sorry, I didn't get that word. Okay, so the persaingan positif.
Competitiveness.
Okay.
You want people to be, if you're among the competitive type of people, you learn more, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. And with their input, so we kind of like, oh, okay, I don't know that thing, that syllabus I haven't covered yet. So basically you are gaining more when you have this competitiveness inside your study group circle. All right, that is part of the preparedness. But during the exam, please be confident and serahkan everything to basically to God, to Allah, and you have to redha what is given, what is written in your fate is there. It's just how you berusaha. It's the effort that counts. And basically, if you have the trueness and I just wanted to share. Every day I come to the department. My radiology department is green. It's mint color. It's kind of my favorite color. So I will just like stand there for 2 seconds. I breathe in. I was like, okay, today is going to be a good day. I'm going to, similar as Faizan, I'm going to learn more. I'm going to do the best that I could for today. Every day I would do that. That is just like my morning chant around 7:30 before I come to the department. Just in front of the radiology department. So just ignore me if anybody sees me through. But I guess confidence, well prepared, and always respect your teachers. I think the berkat is all from the teachers. If you respect your teachers, all the ilmu will basically just absorb like sponge, like senang aja nak mengalir. But if you are rude to your teachers, you are rude to maybe like the physician or the primary team to be more general, susah sikit wanted to get the knowledge to. I think all those multifactorial, that would be the, I guess, the recipe for success.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much for the sharing ya. Ni ada satu soalan very interesting. Well, I have a few, but I may not do this. I like this question. These are all for all panelists. Yeah, this is for all panelists. It says, why don't now that we are in the position, the panelists, you are where you are now. Did you expect this when you were in your first year master's program? When you were in first year master's program, how did you see yourself in the future? I think I want to hear from Prof. Iza.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. That's very, very interesting, I would say, because for myself, I would totally agree that, you know, thinking ahead of what, envision what you want to be is a way of motivating yourself. I wanted to be a lecturer ever since when I was a medical student, and I told my husband to be UKM. No other else. So, and Alhamdulillah, I got a very supportive husband, and he said yes. So if I say, and whenever when I was in first year master student, I said, okay, I want to pass my and becoming a specialist and inshallah becoming a lecturer. But at that time already, I've already make up myself that I want to be a pediatric audiologist. So basically, having to vision whatever that you want, inshallah, with the effort as well as aiming yourself towards what you want. Definitely you'll be able to pass through, definitely with the bless of God. Always get the permission as well as the blessing from God, because you're just human. Human make mistakes, and you're not sure whether whatever that you determine is correct for you. So at the same time, I would put a bit of redha if I did not catch what I want, because if not, I will be the most severe depressed person ever, because you can't get whatever you want. So so that redha has to be at the same time as what you the dream and the determination that you want. But of course, think ahead, and definitely you can vision yourself, you can picture yourself what I want to be in the next 5 years. Inshallah, it will motivate you.
Excellent, excellent. Tak disangka-sangka Dr. Wan Haslina, when you were in first year masters, what was your thought? How did you see yourself in the future now that you're in the current different kan?
Okay, thanks, Prof. Actually, surprisingly, saya dengan me and Prof Faiza is actually having the same vision. Actually, when I was a medical student,
Oh, ya
I already
Allah.
wanted to be a lecturer. Why? Medical lecturer, because I feel that this is a beautiful profession. Because imagine being teachers to healers. So as a healer ourselves kan, kita dapat pahala when we treat people, we make them sihat, and so that they can return to their loved ones kan. Imagine our pahala if we teach healers, in which teaching them correct way to kind of like for my field, let them see again, so let them function again kan. So imagine pahala itu berganda-ganda. So actually this vision actually has been in me since I was a medical student. And one of the things, because I fell in love with this hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in which he said that when mafhumnya yang mana, bila meninggalnya anak Adam, ada 3 perkara je yang berterusan yang bagi pahala dekat dia. Satu adalah amal jariah, sedekah jariah. Yang kedua adalah ilmu yang diajarkan, dimanfaatkan. Dan yang ketiga, anak yang soleh, solehah. When I was a student, I never thought of, I know that being nak dapat anak soleh tu bukan untuk rezeki yang sangat besar lah bagi Allah kan. But what I can do for myself is I would like to teach ilmu yang boleh dimanfaatkan. So with that drive, that actually drive me towards how do I say, bullish through all the challenges. So when I was going for my masters, I delivered my first baby, who is a special child, cerebral palsy child. And at that time, there were a lot of hurdles and challenges from families giving opinions here and there and everything. But I was actually blessed with a very excellent partner who actually asked me to go through and pursue my dream. So I believe in having positive people around us. So surround ourselves with positive people, people that will support you, people that will encourage you with whatever that you are trying to do. And I'm sure with the izin Allah juga, dan kita akan dapat capai kita punya dream lah. So similar macam Dr. Faizah lah. Kita orang ni kan high five Faizah.
Dahsyat, dahsyat. Apa ni, Syamil, macam mana Syamil? Syamil tak cil lah, belum habis lagi. Tapi when you were in first year, did you picture yourself where you are now?
Actually, even before my first year, because when I passed my basic science exam, so I actually applied to few universities. In fact, I applied to apart from UPM, I applied to a few other universities. But the earliest response for interview was from UPM, so I grabbed the chance to got into UPM and envision myself as a lecturer lah. Okay, so I think I agree with Dr. Wan as well and Prof. Aizah about having a good partner and a good spouse, because we have a family to take care of, and then having a good partner will ease a lot of our duties. Because some people may have the luxury of having maid at home and having a financially stable environment, but regardless of that, having a good partner will make the best out of it, no matter what the hurdles come about.
Okay, that's very good. Apa ni, Faizan? Did you picture yourself as you are now when you were in first year?
No, actually, because I think maybe it's not during the first and second year, because I'm in KKM hospital. Not really feel like you are the master student except for the exam lah. But when I go to in campus, then I become I feel it's more master student life lah, because we have a lot of presentation. We need to do the different thing from the KKM lah. But I think it's better when in campus, because we more learn a lot of things. We more focusing. And then we have a lot of teaching lah, a lot of teaching.
I see.
Yes, because actually because the other people say the in-campus life is not very healthy life before this. What I say before I go into in-campus, but I think it's not really lah. It's actually it's good to learning.
Excellent. Dr. Juliana, so when you were first year masters, did you picture yourself as you are now?
Not quite. Basically, I was always picturing myself somewhere in a remote hospital, feeling very stable, very comfortable inside a small district hospital, being a radiologist there. But when I graduated, already passed my 4 years of postgraduate, I was kind of like stunned, because I have the urge. I was idolizing Prof. Hamzaini, to be exact. He is my supervisor for my postgraduate. He is very approachable. He's very friendly. He's a father figure for me. He is my postgraduate. He is my supervising my thesis dissertation, and I have to thank him for that. And I think being surrounded by the good teachers, good lecturers in my department, that is actually the thing that motivates me to become a lecturer myself. So I was not a trainee lecturer. I went for an interview during my 4th year. I think 1 month postpartum, I think, during my 3rd son though. So I went interview, I got it, Alhamdulillah, and here I am now today. So
Excellent.
I'm thankful every day for that.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, apa ni, I think I've asked everybody except for Zarina dah. For Zarina?
Yeah.
Kan, I dah tanya semua orang. Actually bukan, tak tanya you awal. Because dia kata macam mana, how you are now, as you picture when you were first year masters kan. And yours is like
20 years ago. Yeah, boleh repeat. I graduated 98.
Okay, so when you were in first year, did you plan, can you see yourself where you are?
Okay, thank you for Dayang. I won't evolve through the 20 years lah in view of time. Okay. Panjang nak cerita tu. But I am truly humble and overwhelmed by the comments already given by the other panelists. So I think what they say is important, and but as for me, I joined in as a trainee lecturer. Yeah, so I joined in, I initially wanted to do medicine, internal medicine, right? But I changed my mind. Okay,
You wanted to do, you become a physician?
Yeah. So you see, you can still make life-changing decisions at some point of time in your life. But once you do it, when you do it, make sure you think carefully about the pros and cons, right? So yes, I had already joined internal medicine. I don't think it's wrong for me to say this. I had joined internal medicine, right? But that was not my calling, I felt. But I made the decision to change very quickly. So within a month, right, I told myself this is not my calling. Sorry ya, siapa yang internal medicine tu, I totally respect what you do. But I think I was also influenced by my brother. Okay, my brother is a pediatrician. Okay, so I changed over to pediatrics within 1 month of joining trainee lecturer program. Okay, so and I never looked back. Okay, so to answer your question, yes, I masuk program already as a trainee lecturer. That means I memang wanted to teach, right? Because my mother, she's a teacher. She was a teacher. So she said, I think being a doctor, Alhamdulillah, you are given opportunity to do good every day is whether you want to do it well or not, right? Actually, to be honest, anybody can do good any time of the day. You don't have to be a doctor, right? But he said, here you are, you're given the opportunity. And because she's a teacher, she was a teacher, she said you can do even more when you teach and heal people at the same time. So I echo what probably Prof. Haslina mentioned. So I already knew that I wanted to take up, become a lecturer. But I didn't know I wanted to be a pediatrician much earlier. Okay. And I think the one thing, and of course if you ask me, bagus Prof Dayan tanya saya yang last kan, nanti ada recollection bias. Okay. So over the years, so I think I want to. I didn't think that I knew that I was going to be a lecturer. My target was to pass the exams. I had to pass the exams. I want to pass the exams because my goal is to be a lecturer. Okay, and some of us don't pass at the first attempt. Okay, I'll be happy to tell you, ada exam yang I didn't pass at first attempt. I will let you know that. Okay, openly I tell you. Okay, but when you fall back, right? Nobody's journey is perfect, right? You want it to be smooth sailing, perfect. And as everybody has shared here, everybody has got their challenges here. Prof. Haslina has shared, Dr. Juliana and our trainees all have shared. Kita semua ada challenges. Tapi how you look at the challenge, right? So it could be a family-based challenge, it could be academic challenge, but whatever challenge you face is how you rise back after that, right? So if you have fallen down in a way, right, is how you rise. That is what's going to make you stronger and better. So I did not pass one of my exams. Okay, dia kata, oh my God, timbalan dia kan cakap. Yeah, I'll be very honest. Okay, I didn't pass one of my exams, but I had a lot of support from who? I know a lot of people here mention family, right? Yes, I had support from my family, especially my parents, okay? But I had support from my colleagues. Okay, they are the pillars who will help you. So siapa yang dalam group ni tak kisah, you may be from the same discipline, but as somebody said, how you handle other people, right? Other people from other discipline could also be your pillars of support. So those who are the seniors here, like Dr. Faizan, Dr. Shamil and all that, right? I think it is important that everybody helps within the same fraternity, because that is what's going to give you the support to pull you through in your academic days too. Yeah, and I had a lot of support from my colleagues too. Okay.
Well, I'm glad you say you ada tak pass, Prof. I also tak pass. Tadi baca mula-mula tu macam dahsyat sangat kan achievement tu. But let me tell you, I had okay, I'm not from the master's program. Okay, I wasn't from the master's program. Intentionally I wanted. Boleh ke moderator share, Prof? Sila sikit je lah, sikit kan. Just saying that the stress is the same, whether we are in the master's program or not. I was in the fellowship program, and I had my fair share of stress, not passing exam. And I totally agree, it's not just about determination, perseverance, resilience, and prayers. You have to be among people who give you positive vibes, and you have to be targeted. Spend more time to prepare the timetable, kan, Prof? Because time is very important, and I'm glad to hear from Dr. Faizan tadi, dia bangun pagi. Because I think that's one thing, a hallmark of successful student lah, yang you tahu you ada 24 hours and you are making full use early, kan, Prof? Betul ya? Don't bangun lambat lah. You will miss quite a bit, Right. Saya ada lagi satu soalan ni. Boleh saya move on ke? Soalan ni ditujukan kepada Prof. Faizah.
Yes, Prof. Yes. Ready.
Prof, I see that always people are asking you to add in cases.
Okay, as usual.
I think it's very stressful for me. How do you cope?
Okay.
Itu I terasa lah. I mean, dia terasa sikit Prof. Faizah.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we have to understand our environment, the support that we have. I mean, you are not working alone, so definitely you are in a team. So, and I always communicate with my radiographers because they are the one who will let us know, you know, what are the slot that you have, you know. But at the same time, we have to think about what physicians um, want. And to be honest, radiologists are not the person who attend the patient, so we do not know the patient. So we have to rely on physician. You know how urgent they want. You know, what are the problems that may happen. So as if macam I be the person yang at the center, you know, helping out the other end, the physician, to make the things work. But at the same time, I have another end that depends on the resources that I have. For example, I only have, like, for example, a 2 MRI machine that have a fully booked schedule. And, you know, I don't have, at the moment, our MRI doesn't have any sedation, you know, a GA machine, a functional GA machine. So I have to consider everything, especially if I want to put in a pediatric patient inside the gantry. So the point is that, I mean, not just radiologists, I think everybody, you will become the leader for your area that you're working with. You have subordinates, you have a 360-degree communication with everybody, the superiors, and also the person that working under you. So you are responsible to have that. Same goes to postgraduate, because this is the time when you are going to train yourself to become one. That means you are going to be, you know, the so-called leader whenever you are in the MRI, for example. This is for that I can apply to my MO, but it can also be applied to, you know, ophthalmology MO in the OT, because, you know, managing yourself, looking at your resources, you know that you are not working alone, you are working with somebody else, that, you know, you have a list of patients waiting for you. And at the same time acknowledge whatever the other end of request that you have. So I think all in all, it's basically the teamwork too. Sometimes people like to work silo, which I think it should not be applied in medical, any medical.
Right.
Definitely.
So you are not stressed by repeated requests, but you try and understand why they request, right?
Yes,
And
I try
you
to
work
put
as
my
a team,
shoes.
and you're trying to make everybody in your team understand that additional case is important,
Required.
and
Mm-hmm.
and trying to tone things down. I think I like that
Yeah.
very much. I've worked with difficult radiologists before, but I can tell you, since joining UKM ni, I have not had any runs with radiologist lah. Alhamdulillah kan, sebab kita semua, as we say, work as a team.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
Apa ni, saya nak tanya Prof. Zarina lah soalan ni. Prof. Zarina. Kita start dengan Prof. Zarina lah. Prof? Ada lagi dah, Prof?
Ada.
Ada. Okay. What's your biggest stress and how did you cope with it? When you're in training, what was your biggest stress and how did you cope with it? And I'm going to ask this to all the panelists, same. So be prepared with your question, but I'm going to start with Prof. Zarina first.
Biggest stress during my training. Okay. Well, I think is coping with the day-to-day work, right? The expectations of the work, the demands of the work itself, because it's an on-the-job training. Yeah? I think that was more stressful for me rather than wanting to pass the exam, to be honest. Because that day-to-day, I think our adrenaline is always quite high throughout whenever we work, right? But the good thing is, if you have, like I mentioned, my seniors and my colleagues, when I entered pediatrics, the batch tak berapa besar lah, ya. I think there were about, but my batch was the biggest batch that joined pediatrics. And I think that was about 9 or 10. That tu besar tu dulu ya. And then kita semua masuk sekali. Dulu sistem dia memang semua masuk dalam the same hospital ya. So we literally went through the program together. So my stress is doing the day-to-day work and trying to cope. Okay, and trying to handle certain lecturers who will be a bit more challenging. Okay, Faizan senyum aja. Okay lah. So actually maybe pediatricians are known to be fire-breathing dragons sometimes. Okay, but because I take note, Faizan kata, well, it's not so bad once you have come in. We do know, yeah, sometimes the expectations, the anticipations of what. So even during my day, right, my challenge again is coping day-to-day work and coping with certain lecturer. But at the end of the day, those were the senior lecturers that I got to know best. Okay, and yeah, they were tough, but they were tough for a reason. And if you show that you are determined and willing to learn the ropes, show that you are committed and not just put on a show for a show, but really show your commitment to want to do well, right? So maksudnya katalah an ill patient comes, you want to do all the best that you can, right? Exams for me was not as stressful. Stressful betul, tapi dia lain sikit ya, sebab I always believe if you do your day-to-day work well, you will excel in your exam. Okay. So the thing
It's
is
a very good advice. Yeah.
consistency in your work. Dia maksudnya macam ni. That's why bila kita minta students and MET prepare their summary, whatever you write in, however you plan your management, that is what is going to carry you through to the exam. Because no matter how you mug within the 2 weeks, 1 month before exam, you know the expression, old habits die hard. Right? You memang tak buat A, B and C masa you buat you punya day-to-day work, tapi you kata, Syah kena buat macam ni masa exam. I buat lah. Tapi that's the one that you're going to forget during exam. So consistency during your day-to-day work matters when you're going to sit for your exam. So my challenge was filling expectations during my day-to-day work, because that is the one that's going to drive us through to achieve and succeed in our exams.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Dr. Wan Haslina, so what was the biggest stress during your training and how did you cope with it?
Well, my biggest stress was, many. There were many.
Biggest.
But I think the one that the biggest one would be time. So when I was a master student, I had to juggle with family life, and we had to juggle with clinical work and also studying as on top of the research and also the research that we have to do. But as what Prof. Zarina said, I really agree. You have to work smart. So if you are a clinical a student, so nothing actually beats things that you learn during your clinic time, because those are the things that you will come out in your exam. And those are the things that will also be used for your management until you become a clinician. So do your clinical work well. In the clinic, make sure by the end of the clinic, you learn something from your patient and your lecturer. Okay. So sometimes we make a mistake of falling into a comfort zone because you know your lecturer is very kind, kata approachable, and usually your lecturer will guide you on how to manage kan. Sampai tahap you're very complacent just being somebody who reports, okay? So I always tell this to my student. I say, you are going to be a specialist in 4 years' time. So, and you should be better in terms of managing or figuring what to do for this patient rather than the staff nurse or the MOs or the housemans. So you cannot think like a regular MO. You have to think like a specialist. So what I'm here for is to guide you. So you have to like plan your time well. So I think the biggest hurdle for me is time, but how to overcome it is for you to be smart in making sure that you do things how do I say secara seiring so that you don't have to spend so much on arranging one part of your study compared to the others. Same as research, because don't wait until the research is last minute. Okay, masa last minute dia, okay, nantilah I nak start data collection after I pass my part 2 exam. Okay, I always hear my students say that. So what I did was actually I start my research quite early. So when you start early research, you recognize I recognize the problem earlier. So when I recognize the problem earlier, I overcome it earlier. So I cannot afford time. So I have to be smart. So plan yourself well. And if you are ever in a condition where everything is so macam mana terlampau overwhelmed, it's too overwhelming, sit down and write down, reflect. So I really believe reflection is the key for you to redirect yourself to what you want to achieve. So that's what my experience is.
Excellent. Yeah, reflection. And that's very important. Kita ajar the undergrad, but actually it works for postgraduate as well.
Yes.
I'd like to hear from, thank you, Dr. Wanaslina. I'd like to hear from Dr. Juliana. No doubt you have just joined as a lecturer. What was your biggest stress? What was it during your training, and how did you cope with it?
Well, to tell you the truth, basically my study group is among all the mak-mak, all the mothers. We have 5 of us, all are mothers, and the biggest stress is actually going back from a study group session and feeling like a bad mother for me. Feeling like very your child is having less of a loving, caring mother for at least these 4 years. But not giving adequate time for the family to raise your child, that would be my biggest stress, because I felt I want to achieve something, I want to progress something in my life to achieve to become a better doctor, but at the same time I'm turning my child to be a kambing korban, so called. But all in all, I think it's all worth it. I have a good family support. Then I think the stress would definitely be lesser by all. I have a maid. I'm so sorry, the Shamil. I have a maid that can help me. I'm living with my mother. My mother is taking care of my child as well. So to have a very good family support, that would be my pillar. That would be making my life easier as a postgraduate. And if I might add, Prof. Dayang, regarding the question to Prof. Faizah just now about the challenging kan. I just wanted to share my experience. Initially, during first years or during when I was working in MUA hospital, I was a very garang medical officer. I always reject, Prof. I'm basically all the urgent cases. I was a very naughty MO radiology, because I kind of like belajar from my senior colleague. They always, okay, you cannot be too nice to the physician. Oh, okay, all right. But when I entered postgraduate, I kind of like it made me learn something, that we need to discuss the indication. Is it very urgent that we need to do? We might not know the indications, but when you are in a teaching hospital and your colleague on the other end is also learning, their clinical judgment may be wrong at that time, but they are also learning. As for us, we are also learning. So I think just take it as like this is part of your working. This is also part of your learning. When you accept more cases, you learn more. So I benefited from the additional cases, Prof.
I'm very pleased with the attitude. Betul kan, sebenarnya kalau kita request, kita terpaksa. Bukan kita sengaja nak request selit-selit tu kan. To be honest, and of course it has to go through proper discussion. Dr. Shamil, what has been the biggest stress for you throughout training and how did you manage it?
Okay, personally, I think the biggest stress for me, it may not be similar to other people, but for me as a trainee, I think the biggest stress is the exam itself. Because for me, I can't afford to study last minute because I got family, not like maybe other people got a smaller family or being single. I don't know, maybe it's good for them, but for me, I already have family when I started my master program. So I have to start early. I cannot afford to study last minute. So what I did was I studied at the first day of my master. And then at the same time, I need to juggle between my study, my work, my family. And Alhamdulillah, I managed to pass my part 1 exam at single attempt. And then immediately after that, after my part 1, I started to do my research proposal early at the beginning. So let's say after a few months of passing part 1, I already presented my proposal. So that after that, I could start to study for my part 2 exam already. Okay. So because I have a family with 4 kids, and again I don't have a maid at home, not like Dr. Juliana. Okay, so I need to go back early. I can't stay back too long at the hospital, at the library. So because my wife is also working late, so I need to go with the kids, bring them to the playground so they could play, and then they could sleep early at night, possibly at 8:30 or 9 p.m. Okay, and then at home at night, I think what we need as a trainee is a multitasking ability skills. So what I did immediately after Maghrib prayer, I teach my first kid Quran, while at the same time I lipat baju, and my wife will do the iron, the iron clothings, and then arranging it in the closets. Then at 8:30, around 8:30 to 9, my kids will go to sleep. So that after that, I can have a discussion with my wife on how to handle the family issues. Then I can go to study, and then I do my readings, and then I sleep at 12 p.m. I'm not like other people that may wake up early at 4:30. So I wake up maybe 5:30 or 6 in the morning. And then I think again the biggest stress for me was the exam. Okay, I think that should be.
That's very good. I think you're very systematic, very systematic for a male. Very well multitask person, Dr. Syamil. And okay lah tu bangun 5:30 tu kira awal lah tu. Kan? Tak adalah bangun 7:30, pukul 8.
Yes.
Dr. Faizan, what has been your biggest stress and how did you cope with it?
Okay, I think more to time lah, Prof. I think every day pun I not have enough time. Okay, actually time in terms of time to complete the work, even though we work smart also, sometimes we cannot finish everything in one day, and then we need to extend it. But and then another thing is time with others, family, friends, because sometimes we have a on call, and then even though during the daytime, during working days, also we not definitely 5 o'clock we can go back. And then we need to finish everything to make sure that tomorrow we not have a left working now. But everything what we say is just to make sure everything become completely okay later lah. That's mean and then we need to make it balance. Even though we cannot spend the time to our kids in the weekday, maybe at the weekend during not on call time, we can spend also the time with the family. I think we can manage
very
it.
Positive lah. You're very positive. That's why, Good. So Alhamdulillah, terima kasih Faizan. Prof Faizah, what was your biggest stress during training and how did you manage it?
My biggest stress, I think managing the stress itself. so, so basically, the thing is, we have to know, have a somehow managing a stress is a required skill for everybody actually, and it's even more important in postgraduate life. And also when to me, I become stressed when I did not get what I want. So, for example, as I said, I wanted to pass my exam by 4 years, and to be honest, I did not by 4 years because I have to extend my postgraduate training because of some medical problem. So at that time, I know that the acceptance at the same and the stress come because I know that I'm not going to graduate on time. So, but when I did some reflection and then I started to see, as if the life, basically what we have is half glass full of water. We always like to see the one that the empty ones, things that you don't have. But actually, what you actually already have is the one that you have to embrace and you have to be appreciative and be grateful with. So I mean, I think that mature me uh, with all the challenges, and when you get some hurdles, say to yourself that God want to test you whether you said that you are a good person, but whether can you cope with this, so and life is very short and it's very temporary. So you just try to motivate yourself in that way. And I can see throughout the, when I was a master student and now becoming a lecturer and now, handling the postgraduate students, one thing that is consistent, I mean, everything evolved, as what Prof. Zarina said, the exam, the assessment, and even the technology now, they can just, they rarely open their textbook nowadays, all are ebooks and, they hardly know the name of the textbook even because they are so used to Google. But one thing that is very persistent is that the you have to be master in your time. So I think it echoes with everybody what everybody said. But the I think the positivity is the one that brings you all the way, and you want to be consistent. So yeah,
Alhamdulillah. Thank you for that
alhamdulillah.
sharing. I think ni ada soalan sementara dia kat you ni Prof Faiza.
Yep.
Dia cakap, somebody said, what is reda? So I
Okay.
assume this is not from a Muslim
Okay.
trainee.
So
What is reda, Prof? You mentioned a few times reda.
yeah, okay. So reda is basically you accept. Okay, you accept that you are not a perfect person, and you accept that everything that is being given to you is something that is from your God. So when you have that feeling of being acceptant of whatever that you have, at the same time, it's actually the gratefulness that comes in together with the reda. So you are grateful of what you have now, and even though you have some dream or achievement that you want, you say that I'm at my level, tak apalah tak dapat whatever that I want, but I'm actually grateful to have what I have already. So please have a look at things that you still have. Don't always look at things that you do not have. But of course, if the thing that you don't have at the moment is you have not passed your exam, then you have you plan for that. But at the same time, because if you don't have that the acceptance of what you have now, that means you tend to become depressed, and that is not good for your mental health.
And this reda, we must always trust that God will give you what's best for you, not what you want.
Definitely,
Not
very
not
fair.
all the time what you want, what you
Correct.
need is actually what's best for you.
Correct.
But provided you put in all the effort lah, kan? Tidak tak ada apa tu at all usaha, kan? Yeah, Prof?
Correct.
Right. Okay. Well, guess what? We have only about 30 more minutes. Yeah, and I still have a few more questions to go through. Prof. Zarina, there's a question for you here. Two questions for you, Prof. Zarina. I'll do the first question first, yeah? Why do you decided to stay in university instead of private hospital? Does the
Yeah.
payment matter or not to you? Does money does are you from a rich family maybe?
I
Or you
see.
have so much money already, kan?
I think, yeah, I think the temptation will always be there for some of us to move out, yeah, because, and in fact, I did have a colleague who asked me at one point of time after I had completed my master's whether I will venture out with her. But I chose not to do so, yeah, because remember I joined in as a trainee lecturer, right? And I did find, and I do still find the passion in teaching, right? And I think it's something that is very rewarding. So yeah, there's no denial. Yeah, you can earn quadruple depending on which specialty you are from, lah. Yeah, you can earn so much more. My brother is in the private at the moment. Okay, so kalau I nak join memang apa tu the calling is there, but no. Yeah, because to me, yes, to make this apa tu to come to an to how you live your life in this world, right? Apa tu, my mother always said duit tu memang macam tak pernah cukup. Yeah, my mother always say, live within your means. So katalah kalau kita keperluan kita banyak tu, you have to know how to make it within your means lah, ya. Tapi so to me, I think I know people who are rich also who continue to stay in where they are, right? So money is secondary in that sense, depending on how you want to live your life currently. Of course, you will still have your needs. I won't pretend that, or you can make ends meet apa tu, regardless, kan? So I'm still in the academia, yeah, and I think inshallah, yeah, I have another 8 years to go in academia, right?
Yes.
So, yeah.
You just reveal your age, Prof.
Never mind lah. Kalau dia orang backtrack calculation pun dia orang tahu. I graduated.
But I can tell you don't look your age at all. You look very young. Yeah.
So
in fact, you look younger than me.
Okay, so that was the first question kot, right?
Yes, and the next one, ditanya, is dual pathway during masters give us extra credit for our future? Is dual pathway during masters useful for our future profession?
Dual pathway, that means you are taking membership, for example, maybe on top of doing the masters, yeah. It is like this, yeah. I have some trainees, right, who joined the master's program in the past. They already have membership part 1, for example, right? And some of them, after they got their part 2, in fact, few of them aja lah, I boleh kira on my hands, how many of them opted out after they orang dapat part 2, dah jadi pediatrician from the MRCP lah, MRCP-CH. So but quite a number of them, the majority of them continue to stay walaupun diorang dah dapat membership diorang. You know why? Because the strength of the program being structured, and I know that maybe nowadays the alternative option, they are strengthening it further, but we have been doing this, and if you're not aware, UKM is the first to offer postgraduate clinical program, yeah. So alhamdulillah, I think things have evolved a lot, yeah. So kalau nak answer your question tu, if you don't have to have both, to be honest. I'll be honest about it, right? Concentrate on one. All right, and coming from the academia where you want structured organization, assessment with research thrown in, because it's all about evidence-based practice, right? I think you'd want to choose the masters, right?
Mungkin kalau dia nak elevate better kan, Prof, kalau dia dah ambil masa nak ambil PhD, kan? That is better daripada dual pathway lah kot kan.
Yeah,
Tapi
yeah.
kemungkinan kalau nak buat duit dekat pintu depan klinik tu ke hospital ada lagi panjang lagi bagus lah kan. Saya dulu ada satu senior pediatric surgeon, the expatriate dia ambil semua peperiksaan di dunia ni. Jadi bila dia pergi private memang dia dahsyatlah panjang tu kan. It's useful for, I think if the aim is to go private, it's different kan Prof? But if
Yeah.
it is for us, we want to serve the country, you be at the best structured program. You be within the best structured program kan?
I think that is the training that's important. Right?
That's right. Satu soalan lagi kepada Prof Faiza. Prof Faiza.
Ya, Prof.
Apa ada pros and cons tak private versus university ni? Ni pun soalan macam tanya you duduk. Kan. Saya tak berapa jelas ni sama ada nak pergi private university ke, you nak pergi private hospital ke, atau daripada duduk. Ada pros and cons.
I assume private
Tak
hospital
tahulah kenapa
kot.
dia nak tanya you ni, ada hura-hura ke?
Tak ada.
Tak ada.
Well, it depends on what you want. Basically, it depends on what you want because I mean, I believe some of the seniors lecturers has been, invited, or asked to join the private, but it's basically what you want. Because for me, like Prof Zarina, I like teaching, and it's just that a matter of satisfying when looking at your student at day one of life, and then they graduated. It is something yang Masya Allah, I feel God
best,
bless them.
very best.
Yeah, so I don't know at the moment. Different people has different reason for them to go to private, and I just pray to God that I will stay because that's what I think I want to do at the moment, and insyaAllah until pencen lah.
InsyaAllah apa ni Prof sorry Dr. Wan Haslina, there's a question here for you.
Yes, Prof.
Dr. Wan Haslina, dia cakap I heard that you have a special child. I have a special child as well. Please give me some tips so that I don't end my days crying.
Okay. Thank you for the question. It's very important. Okay, it's a very good question. So when you have a special child, initially you will go through phases. Okay, the first phase is denial. Okay, it's always denial first. So I think as a medical person, a person with medical background, you should be able to rise up because you have the knowledge. Okay, so you must first have a good insight that yes, I'm feeling this depressed, I'm feeling this denial because it is a normal process of grieving. Okay, so when you grieve, because it's something not normal, your child is going to grow. So the special needs children has needs special attention in terms of health, in terms of care, and all of that. So one of the things that you need to acknowledge is, yes, you have to terima, accept. Because I have friends who are still in denial after so many years, and then only seek for help when other people pointed out to them, saying that, look, you need to bring your child or your son or your daughter to seek more help so that they can actually, be more independent in the future if possible. So I had that experience, but luckily that experience was before my master's because I had my first child when I finished nearly finishing my housemanship. So during that time, there's a period of depression and everything. So acknowledge depression is needed. Acknowledge your son or your daughter is somebody who needs you. Okay, not the other way around. Not for you to need a normal child, but for your child to need a good mother. So one of the things that I just want to share you my experience. When I know that I'm pregnant with my son, we got to know his diagnosis when I was 7 months old. When I was 7 months old, I went for my ultrasound for my prenatal screening, and at that time I found out my son has abnormality with his brain, and there was calcification in the brain. So the first thing that you know as a medical person when you see abnormalities like this on ultrasound, you know it's not normal. So the depression is already like haunting you like mad. So one of the first thing I did was actually cry. So yes, we do cry. So the crying is needed. Just cry it out. I mean, express it out to your husband, to anybody that you trust. Express yourself first, okay? Don't keep it to yourself. Number two, rise up. Rise up. Because in a way, what made me rise up? Actually, I had a depression about 1.5 months. Every day I came back crying. Every day before work, I cry first dalam kereta. Sampai dalam kereta tu, okay, barulah berhenti menangis and then work. And then during lunchtime, I had this haze hours where I will just stare and then think about what I was future gonna be. Bila balik je, I cry again. So 1.5 months like that. And suddenly my husband said to me something that sort of like wake me up. And I felt quite selfish actually. So when my husband said, Nina, kata, please, kata, this is also my son. The child that's in your tummy is also my son. So maksudnya, here am I thinking about what the effect of having such a child to me, when I should be thinking also what's the effect to other people, which is my husband, which is my partner. So in a way, I kind of like wake up and then kita rasa macam, you know what, there's a future for us, for me to think of rather than to dwell in self-pity. So and that from that then on, I plan. So because I know my aim is to be the teacher of healer, okay, which is menjadi bicara. So for me to be a teacher of healer, I need to have my masters, be in clinical world and everything. So I cannot do this without some help. So I plan. So the thing is I plan for a helper. So to plan for a helper, why? Because you have to plan because you need to get a good helper. So yes, screening process is quite crucial. How to screen your helper. I don't have the luxury of having families to help because my family is in Terengganu. My husband's family is on Terengganu. So I don't have like mother-in-law to help to take care, adik-beradik yang tu saudara mara yang tolong jaga anak I. I totally depend on my maid and also my husband to actually rotate kalau ada apa masalah. So planning is very important. You don't have time to dwell or sedih and everything. Every time the challenge come, think of how you overcome it. Okay, every time the challenge come, think on how you kind of solve it. If you need help, ask. Do ask. And the one that you really need to ask is Allah's help. So always be, how would I say, in a way that you have to be open. If you need to be open to your supervisor, do be open up to your supervisor. Say to your supervisor, okay, on the first year itself, I tell to my supervisor, to my HOD, saying that, okay, I have a special son or I have a special needs son that may need some medical attention in times. So she understood. Okay, so but I have to show I will never use my son or my special needs son as an excuse all the time. Okay, so every time I have problem, oh sebab anak I ni tak sempat semua kan. So as much as possible, I avoid try to make sure that I do my job well and without giving any reasons. Okay, so first thing is acceptance, rise up, plan, and ask for help from the Almighty, ask from help, and then ask your help from the supervisor and your friends. And surprisingly, your friends around you are actually the one that give you some, how would I say, some help in sometimes in a very subtle way. Contohnya macam my son is not well, he's in ICU for example because of severe aspiration pneumonia. So I have to ask for help for my colleague to change my on call, for example. So in a way, your friend will help. So these are the helps that you say, okay, Alhamdulillah, it's easy for me to change Hong Kong because my friend has been very understanding. So in one way also, it makes you stronger and stronger and stronger. And mind you, if you ever feel weak, always remember that your son or your child needs you, okay, to be a strong person. Okay, I would not say that it's going to be a bed of rose, it's going to be smooth journey, no. But always remind yourself what you're trying to achieve, where you want to go, because that will guide you with all the effort that you want to do. So as I said just now, as I said with Dr. Faiza also said, my dream is always be trying me, always want to be a teacher of healers. So I want to gain that 1/3 of things that Allah said was gonna sampai bila I mati nanti kan. So I hope for along the way kalau apa-apa amalan yang I buat, good deeds I do will also transfer to my son, walaupun dia disabled, in way that he will be healthy, eventually healthy and well. So Alhamdulillah, 10 years ago, somebody said to me he would not pass age of 16 years old or 14 years old. And all this, prospecting is normal in pediatric, I think. So prospecting ni memang normal. Tapi Alhamdulillah, I take it something as positive, as a challenge for me to, how would I say, help my son to as any way that I can. Alhamdulillah, he's now 18 years old. Healthy, and he's gone through many hurdles. We've gone through many hurdles. Kalau nak cerita jadi 1001 malam. But those are the tips that I would like to share with all of you. Rise up, think about what you want to do, and plan and try to face through. My husband once actually pesan dekat I, in masters, postgraduate studies, it's not being a high IQ person. So you don't need a very excellent, cerdik punya orang untuk dapat masters or gain specialist punya training, or finish your specialist training. It takes somebody with resilience and grit to be able to get through. So dengan pesan my husband tu daripada awal lagi, I know that I have to be very resilient to all these challenges and try my best. Along the way, kalau you need help, get help. If you need to extend your semester, by all means, just extend your semester if needed. But if you can, your supervisor can help, just accept the help and go around the challenge and keep on pursuing what you want to do. Okay.
Excellent advice, Dr. Wan Hastina. I'm really happy. I hope the calon-calon yang ada anak-anak yang memerlukan bantuan, you don't feel, of course you're very stressed kan, but you now see among the panelists, they have been through even worse challenges, and that's not to mention. I want to say that your panelists here, they have gone through even medical challenges on themselves. I'm not going to reveal, but they have been through their own health challenges, and they have not at any point drop their performance as a lecturer. They are first class lecturers. They are dedicated and kind, and I fully agree. To become a good lecturer or to become a good person, good specialist, have more empathy. It's not the IQ so much. IQ kalau tak pandai kita boleh hajar, tapi kalau kita tak ada EQ, tak ada empathy, it is quite difficult, isn't it? I hope the panelists semua agree. As you can see, semua mengangguk. Because that's what we want. We want a special alumni of UKM that is not only clever, good as a specialist, but they have a lot of empathy towards others, and they understand that everybody goes through different set of challenges to gain that scroll, kan? Saya ada mungkin tak cukup masa untuk ada soalan-soalan pendek macam ni, tapi saya suka soalan pendek ni. Jadi kita mungkin should take this soalan pendek untuk end in a nice note. The question is, what's your hobby? Do we need hobby during training, or should we skip training, should we skip hobby because there's not enough time? Okay, I'm gonna ask Faizan dulu. Dia ada time kan. Faizan ada hobi tak? How important is hobby to you?
Good, Prof. Watch movie.
Alhamdulillah, cerita Korea ke?
Yes, Prof.
Ah. Aduh, zaman you all ni tak tahulah cerita Korea saja. Apa you punya punya aktor atau aktris yang you minat nama siapa?
Aku tak I cannot remember but I,
You tak tahu, you boleh tanya Prof Zarina. Sama kot cerita Korea yang dia tengok tu. Dr. Juliana ada hobi tak? Do you keep hobby? So you also tak ada masa untuk hobi. How important is it to have hobby?
Hobby, actually I don't have one. I think, but I like to make jokes. Is that considered a hobby?
Hobby lah tu something to distress kan. So you have something other than studying lah.
I hope my fellow colleague and my fellow lecturers kind of agree that I am sort of a comedian. I'm perhaps. but yeah, I do feel like making jokes makes me fun, makes me more positive, makes me more happy. So yes, postgraduate is hard work, but bear in mind that you still have your personality, you still have to be happy all the time. So that will keep your sanity in the right path. So yes, I'm happy to have making jokes.
Syamil, Dr. Syamil,
Yeah,
ada hobi tak?
Ada. I actually like to run. I like to run.
You tak ada boncet lah pun, tak boncet lah ni. Waduh.
Cannot show.
Cannot show.
Actually,
you apa, long distance run?
Short distance sajalah. So in the evening while taking care of the kids at the playground, I make a 2 kilometer punya run and then
ya Allah, 2 kilometer dekat. Ya Allah, I 200 meter, okay.
And then possibly in weekend after subuh I do 5 kilometer and then before the kids wake up. So by the time kids wake up, I'll be at home already. Then and then taking care of them during the weekends. Then do all sorts of the things.
So you're very systematic. So you make time for hobbies and that's fantastic, yeah. And into sports. Dr. Wan Hasrina, ada hobi?
Hobi saya try new recipes. Masak.
Dah tahu ni, tolonglah hantar sikit-sikit ya. You masak apa, Dr. Wan?
I don't know. I try to try a lot of things. My husband is a true blue lidah Melayu. So mestilah lauk-lauk yang kita nak try kan. But me being a bit adventurous, I try to do pastries and desserts. So usually dia tak popular lah benda tu dengan my husband. So yeah, I like to distress myself with cooking. So my husband would know that if I'm too stressful by looking at how much I cook. So kalau ada 2-3 lauk tu kata ni stress ni, kata tell me what you want, what you are having, do you want to tell me anything? So that's how I stress.
Saya punya housemate pun pandai masak. Dia ada 2, dia pediatrician. So dia stressful masak, happy pun masak. Saya untungnya housemate lah kan. So kita gembira lah. That's very good. Prof Faizah, ada hobi tak? Kau yang mengajar je orang?
Tak sama dengan Dr. Wan. I like baking.
Masak? Really?
Cuma tak bagi kat Prof Dayan je untuk rasa.
Itulah saya tekilan.
No, because sometimes it's a form of distress. And then one hobby yang pelik sikit is that I'm reading a medical thriller. So Robin Cook, Michael Christian. So
you read storybooks?
Yeah, I like.
You klasik betul lah. Zaman baca buku ni macam dah tak ada dah sekarang ya.
Yes.
So you ada lagi,
traditional.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
Okay.
Prof Zarina, you ada hobi ke? Selain daripada tengok cerita Korea, Prof Zarina, ada hobi lain tak?
Cerita Korea tu baru saja, dah terpengaruh. Okay, so I also like Faizah, I read fictional. So I like to read suspense and thrillers. So I read and I also do arts and craft. Okay, I think the main thing here is, do you need a hobby? Well, it may not necessarily be a hobby. Even as somebody mentioned, going out to watch a movie, cinema, and all that. I think you need to try and make time to do some other things as an outlet. So maybe you kata I don't need lah, but actually it does help. Okay, so yeah.
Tak ada orang pun cakap. Saya suka berkebun. Saya suka. I don't talk much about. I spend the whole day talking. So I talk to plants. Kan? Yeah, I think this soalan is very good. So everybody, if you want to be successful, you want to get through the not successful as in just pass exam, successful throughout this training program, you have to have something that interests you other than the specialty, kan? There's some tips here. You can do sports, you can do make jokes, you can cook, you can do arts and craft. I know Prof Zarina dia apa tu knit. Dahsyat tak? Dia knitting, dahsyat. Kan Prof Zarina?
Well, I don't know. I do crochet, but
crochet.
Yeah. Adalah
Dahsyat.
sikit-sikit.
Sangka-sangka. And ada surgical trainee, dia cakap dulu hobi dia tidur. Dia kata boleh terima tak Prof tidur ni sebagai hobi. Jadi saya nasihatkan dia, kenapa hobi dia tidur? Dia kata sebab saya tak cukup tidur. Jadi kalau apa-apa masa saya nak tidur. Itu karakteristik kalau orang tu single lah kan. Kita ada family, kita ada ni biasanya kita nak fill up the time kan. Tapi tak no harm kalau suka tidur. Tapi rasanya if that brings joy to you, there's no harm. Anything that reduce the stress, ya. Jadi saya rasa kita ada 4 minit lagi. Saya nak ucapkan I'd like to thank everybody, all the panelists for being with us the last 2 hours. And I see that at some point the number of participants was higher than 62, but at the end of this next 5 minutes, we have 62 participants. Still a high number. I like to thank those who have WhatsApp me questions, and I hope you have gained some knowledge and make sure that you know the training program. And I think this is the first time the research. Am I right, Dr. What tadi? Are you still? Haizurin, are you still with us?
Yes, actually sebenarnya tajuk ni was proposed to fill up empty slot actually. So I'm the committee. So
sorry. This is a new thing, right?
Initially, yes, this is a new thing because I feel that sometimes we talk about theories and we talk about something in the book. So it is very good if you share some personal experiences, kan? Somehow what the students are now experiencing, mungkin benda yang sama kita pernah rasa, dan they would not feel as bad. So
I'd like to congratulate you and the organizing committee for giving this opportunity for the students and to hear from seniors, a mixture of seniors, middle rank, and students. I wish all of you the best. I can see that I'm among successful people. Yeah. Truly, I have no regret. When I was asked to moderate, I couldn't say no because it was asked by BFF, kan? Prof Zarina suruh. So kita pun banyak yelah, kan? So and I
tanya bukan suruh.
Okay lah, pediatrician. Yeah. I as a pediatric surgeon, I try not to fight with pediatrician. You can see, So we try our best, and I have no regrets. I'm so happy today. I get to listen to all of you. Thank you so much, Prof Zarina, Dr. Wan Haslina, Prof Faizah, Dr. Shamil, Dr. Jana. I hope there are many more, and Dr. Faizan. Mana gambar? Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you participants for participating. Good question, very enlightening. I hope the pengurusan, the committee, Dr. Haizurin and the rest, please send congratulations to the chairman. And I think if I can get just 1, 2, 3 words from each of the panelists to end this session. We'll start with the young ones pula. Okay, let's hear from Dr. Faizan dulu.
Okay, thank you, Prof. The important thing in master is always be a positive person, and then always pray to get a smooth journey in your master time. Okay, that's all.
InsyaAllah. Amin. Ya. Okay, Dr. Syamil.
Hello. Okay. I think my final message would be we have to do good to others as we would want them to be treated. So we have to have a good relationship with all the lecturers, supervisors, co-supervisors, internal, external. Not to forget the clinical staffs and clerks as well, and our colleagues, so that it will ease much of our journey. That's all.
Very good advice. And Dr. Juliana?
One word to describe postgraduate life or experience for me is perseverance. So perseverance and stress management and time management, and all the best to everybody.
InsyaAllah. Thank you so much. Okay, Dr. Wan Hasina.
I would say I would agree with everybody who talked mentioned just now, but I would like to add one more. Is be grateful, thankful, and be grateful. So whatever blessings that you receive in life, okay. So in here, I would like to also thank the one who treated my son, my special son, Prof. Dayang, who actually first involved in doing gastrostomy for my son. And after that, his how would I say, prospect in life improved a lot after the gastrostomy. And Prof. Zarina as well was in the pediatric team last time. So thank you for your help. And Faiza has been, how would I say, somebody who inspired me despite her medical condition. She pulls through very well and really become an inspiration for me. And also what inspired me also is my student, and I was grateful that somehow my students, not only I teach them, but I think they also teach me something. So be grateful in whatever things that you have in life, and count your blessings. I think you will be a much more calmer and happier person, and strive to do better, inshallah, in future. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. I'm glad your son is growing well. Apa ni, Dr. Wan, ya? Prof. Faiza? Let's hear from you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Yeah, I think one thing about being a postgraduate student is you have to master your time. You be the master of time, insyaAllah, dengan izin Allah. Because and be proactive of whatever that you have to do, and plan very well. And I am actually blessed to be surrounded by all great people, hebat lah, I would say. In grade 2 macam biasa sikit lah. I think hebat tu is something yang more extraordinary. Dr. Wan is I also inspired with her, how sabar and how determined she is. She has PhD, mashallah, and something that you guys can inspire with as well. Yeah, all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And last but not least, let's hear from the Timbalan Dekan and the most senior here, Prof. Zarina.
Yeah,
I let you have the last say.
Oh, okay.
Word of advice.
Well, I think number one, I think we do know that this journey to do postgraduate will not be an easy one. I think everybody can acknowledge that, right? But when you acknowledge that, then you must take charge of it. Okay, and how you take charge of it? If you do have, you build in on your strength, right? You identify your strength, and that will help pull you through. If you have weaknesses, seek assistance, no matter what assistance that you need, right? So, it is still your SWOT analysis, whether you like it or not lah. And if you do fall, right, and you fall in your journey in whatever way, whether it is family challenges, health challenges, academic challenges, is how you handle it and how you rise to the occasion and stand tall after that, right? And always count your blessings, because sometimes, no matter how hard you think life is going for you, there's always blessing, because there might be another person who is having an even harder time than you. Okay, so with that, pull in, count your blessings, and as you can see, everybody has pointed out here, the support the support that you have, please, it comes from within your fraternity, your own group of colleagues. So yang kalau dalam radiology, dalam pediatrics, right? I'm sure you all continue to support each other, because as you can see, as your journey progresses in life, you probably can also see how, inshallah, and alhamdulillah, I'm so blessed. I'm surrounded by many people, and we all continue to support each other. So the support is
Alhamdulillah.
very important.
Okay,
So that's all.
sebelum saya mengakhiri, saya mohon maaf. I would like to apologize if there's any kesalahan bahasa, kekasaran yang tak disengajakan. Saya nak baca sloka dalam bahasa Melayu. Since kita boleh bercakap bahasa Melayu. Ini bukan saya punya, saya ciplak daripada Tan Sri Sharifah. Dia kata, saya ubah sikit je. COVID-19 membawa kesengsaraan. Kita menghadapi banyak cabaran. Namun hikmah timbul dalam kegelapan. Penggunaan teknologi digital menyinar harapan. Hai, dahsyat tak? With that, thank you so much for being with us. I give the mic again to Dr. Haizurin. And thank you for having us all this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Dayang. That was a very fruitful discussion, which I hope can benefit all of the participants. And I would like to reiterate Prof. Dayang's point again. Thank you so much to all the panelists for taking time to be with us and sharing and for making this event happen. For Prof. Dayang's information, I am the chair for medical and health research.
Thank you.
So we thank you. Thank you very much for your participation. I don't want to delay any more time, for it's way beyond lunchtime. Again, thank you very much, and for the poster presentation. Thank you very much, everybody.